Hello. Put together a short video to show you some tricks you can use on spreadsheets along with some stats apps to help you with some graphing and some calculations. Hopefully you'll be able to use some of these things in completing assignment number 1. So what I have here is an example. I took a sample of 12 states, Alaska, Arizona, California, all the way down to Washington, and I collected information on those 12 states. I found out the political party of the governor for each state, listed those below. I looked up the size of each state in square miles and entered all those. Found the number of national parks in each state and recorded those right here. And finally, I took the rank based on population. So for example, California is number 1. In terms of population, it's the biggest state in the union. Whereas Alaska, on the other hand, based on population, is the 48th largest state in the union. And so what we have here are the rankings based upon population size. Little review of terminology. First of all, the cases. Remember, the cases are those things that you're studying, or those things that are providing the responses. In this case, the states. The 12 states are the cases. Each state, those are the things we're collecting sort of characteristics of. Measurement variables, you probably remember those are things having to do with numbers. And so, for example, the area of each state, that's in square miles. That's a measurement or quantitative variable. The number of national parks has number of parks. That would be that's also a measurement variable. Population rank is kind of interesting. This one is technically not a measurement variable, although everything it has a number here. These numbers are used to kind of place the 50 states in position or order. And so those are more of a categorical feature than they are a kind of a quantitative feature. Another example of this might be if you have a roster of players for a football team or a soccer team. Each player has a different number, and those numbers would be considered, those would be treated like a categorical variable. So again, be careful with numbers. Sometimes they're not really measurement variables. They're more of the categorical type. So population rank is kind of a category. And then obviously the governor party would be another categorical variable. In this case, they're either Republican or they're Democrat, or perhaps they're neither party. They're of a different party. So a little review of terminology. Okay, let's talk a little bit about spreadsheet features. Sometimes you have a list of data and you have to graph this by hand. And often it helps if you have the data put in order, in numerical order. And right now, national parks, for example, are a little bit out of order. So here's a nice way if you want to rearrange the data set and put things in a particular order. The first thing you're going to do is, before we go on though, is you have to make a copy. Okay, so you go up here and select copy, and that should, well, let's try that again. There we go, under file, there it is, file, make a copy. That's the one we want, make a copy. And so it'll say copy of state data. This will allow you to go in and manipulate the information on the spreadsheet. This has been saved to your file and you can do with it whatever you'd like. And so here's one thing you can do, we call it sorting. If you highlight all of the data and also including the titles, I've highlighted everything here, and then you go under, I believe it's data, and then you're going to sort the range, and you'll pick the advanced range sorting options. So if you click on that, and then click on Data has Header Row. That means that the titles like State and Governor Party were highlighted. And you'll notice what that does is it allows you to then to sort, to rearrange by whatever variable you're interested in. Now I happen to choose the number of national parks. I'll click on number of national parks. I want to go from low to high. You can also go from high to low if you wish. Then you click on sort, and what it should do is it should rearrange everything so that now the number of national parks are listed in order. Okay, we'll show that to you one more time. Maybe we want to get the parties kind of gathered together in order. So let's then go to, we've highlighted everything. Let's then take data, sort the range, advanced range sorting options. Let's see, data has a header row. And let's say we want to this time sort by governor's party. And I'll just go from low to high, which in this case is alphabetical order. And then we'll try to sort. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay, so it lists all the Democrats, since those come before Republicans in the alphabet. And so now things are kind of grouped together. So this is a nice feature, especially when you have to make graphs by hand and you'd like to kind of reorganize the numbers or the categories so that it makes it a little quicker to graph. Okay, so that's one nice feature we call sorting. Another thing we'd like you to take a look at is the idea of using applications to make graphs and do calculations. So first of all, I'll show you let's say we take let's highlight and copy, Control C, or if you go under Edit for copy, okay, copy all the data for Governor Party. Then I put a link in your folder called Exploring Categorical Data. And when you click on that, let's see here, I have to reload. You'll probably get a little ad here. It's kind of a neat little app. If you want to take a look at this, maybe download it on your phone, you can, but I'm going to dismiss it for now. And let's see. Probably already has something preloaded here. So you'll want to go to your data and say individual observations. And so it clears everything out and it's now ready for you to paste in the information. So I'll go right into this field here and then I'll go Control V or paste, and it should paste that column that I had copied. Notice it lists Democrats and Republicans. The name of this variable was Governor's Party, Governor Party, or Party of the Governor. And so let's see what it'll do for us. It'll give us kind of a frequency chart. There were 7 Democrats, 5 Republicans. It'll give us in percentage terms what that works out to be. And then it'll also provide a bar graph. Okay, and so here we have a nice bar graph, 7 Democrats, 6 Republicans. If you'd like, you can convert this into a percentage scale rather than a number scale. Now things are listed in percentage terms instead of the count terms. And there are some other features you can play with on here. Okay, so that's the quantitative data grapher. All right, so let's now go back and let's say we want to take one of our measurement variables, one of our quantitative variables. Let's say we're going to take the number of national parks. So this time I'll highlight the number of national parks and I'll copy that. This time I'll go to an app called Exploring Quantitative Data. And once again, let me reload and I'll dismiss this for now. Okay, and again, you'll probably need to put in your own data. And here's that field, and I'll just click on Control V or paste, and it should paste all the numbers I had before. Now this week we're going to focus on 2 graphs, namely box plots and dot plots. So if you turn those 2 on, you'll get an example of a box plot and a dot plot. Let's see, this was the number of national parks. You can type that in, and probably a few other things you could do. Let's see what it does. So it makes this thing called a box and whiskers, or a box plot, for you. It also gives you the some of the important statistics right there, the median and the maximum, and these things called quartiles. Um, You'll notice there's one out here. I believe that's California with 9. It's a little bit of an outlier right there, and you'll learn about what makes a piece of data an outlier or not. And then you also have down here, you have a dot plot for the number of national parks. So there were one state with 4 parks. It looks like we had probably a couple of states with 3 national parks. We had a couple states with 2 national parks. Um, we had one state with 5 national parks, and so on. And again, you could kind of play with some of these options over here. And again, this will do box plots and dot plots. It'll make 2 other graphs, which we're going to study next week on assignment number 2. But if you want to click on those, you can. And you can also probably play around with some of these features here and learn what it'll do. Also gives you some calculations. It'll give you the average or the mean. It'll give you something called standard deviation. This thing over here is called the 5-number summary. We'll talk more about that this week. So there you have it. A couple of ways to make graphs from a data sheet, and also ways to kind of go in and sort. So hopefully this will be useful to you as you work on assignment 1. Thanks for watching.